You want to get into Kenshin?
Yeah, let's do this.
So next we have Rurouni Kenshin, episode 12, Okashira, Ayoshi Shinomori. So guys, this is the fight we've all been waiting for, Ayoshi versus Kenshin. Who will win, the Rurouni or the Shinobi?
Mm.
So this episode picks up right where we left off, Kenshin versus Ayoshi. We learned that Ayoshi uses a Kodachi, which is the ultimate sword for defense. It's in between the lengths of a katana and a wakizashi. And we come to find out that the Kodachi is an incredible sword for defense due to its length. And Ayoshi has a really interesting sword style or fighting style, I guess, where he uses the Kodachi for defense and Kenpo for offense. And there's a scene where Kenshin's like, "Oh, you're a Kenpo master like Hanya." And Aoshi's like, "Bro, who do you think taught Hanya Kenpo? Like, you got the student's hands. Now you're getting the master's hand." And Aoshi's got some freaking moves, dude.
He does. I was pretty worried. I was pretty worried about Kenshin. After we, you know, met Aoshi for the first time and kind of got to know about his skills, I guess, because Kenshin kind of had a little bit of trouble with Hanya, so it kind of worried me for a minute. But this is Rurouni Kenshin, not Aoshi Shinobi. So
Yeah, you're not wrong. And after that, we got a quick flashback scene. And it kind of goes back to the Oniwaban group back during the war against the Imperialists. And Aoshi's pretty damn confident that if the shogunate didn't surrender and the Oniwaban group entered the fight, they would have won no problem. And he talks about how they would have done it. He would have basically created a massive fire in Edo and killed all the imperial leaders during the confusion. And Kenshin like comes back to this, like, neither side was correct or righteous in this war. And I can't let somebody with that kind of ice cold bloodlust do that ever again. So that's why I'm fighting right now. I'm fighting to protect people. And after that, we come back to the present, and there's just this hard as fuck scene where Kenshin goes from Ryutsusen, which is like a in the air attack, to Bato Jutsu without even touching the ground. And that shit was animated so well, dude.
yeah, and for those that don't know, Bado Jutsu is where he puts the sword, his sword blade back into his sheath, and then we seen it in his fight against uh weird guy, I forget his name. Uh but he pulls it out and like it speeds up, the process or whatever. And that's like a very, like Dan said, very hard ass move right there. So
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, they've like the animation in this fight and the soundtrack and everything else was awesome. They really turned it up in this scene. And I wish Bass is here because I know he's all about it right now. Like he probably loved this episode.
I'm sure.
But so after that, we kind of we go to another scene where you have Conru in his office all pissed off about how like Aoshi's stealing the spotlight. I'm the leader. He's not respecting me. And one of his like little minion guys comes up and is like, "You already tested, you know what?" And this is what I was talking about from that scene where he met with like the US Navy. And I was like, "Oh shit, we're getting some guns."
Oh, okay.
And
I
we're going to get
got you.
into it a little later, but boy, did we get a gun.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely got some blickies, all right. So
One of the biggest blickies you'll find. So to combat Aoshi's Kodachi, Kenshin actually comes up with a plan where he's going to hold his blade instead of the hilt to match the reach of the sword. And Kenshin explains that Aoshi was able to create a blind spot. Or sorry, Kenshin's katana was creating a blind spot because his reach was too long. So he's going to shorten his blade by literally holding it, which is nuts. And
man,
We get a
Uh,
really quick flashback scene to Karu explaining that, to Yahiko, so he understands what's going on right now.
yeah, that's something else. Like that just shows you how much determination Kenshin has, because he's literally holding his blade of his sword, and he's got blood dripping everywhere, and he's making strikes with it, which obviously probably cuts him even deeper. You would think so. Uh,
Definitely. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, and after that, we get introduced to Ayoshi's special move, the Kaiten Kenbo, which is basically like a ritualistic sword dance. It's a combination of using Kenpo to basically almost like create shadow clones. Like he's just moving that fast. His moves are flowing like water. And he ends up landing a nasty blow on Kenshin and slashes him 3 times across the chest, which I completely forgot about from watching this so long ago. But damn, dude, I was a little worried there.
yeah. And it turns out that the only reason why it didn't like hurt Kenshin as much as it should have hurt Kenshin is because last second, Kenshin used his sheath to, like, I guess, deflect kinda or decrease the strength of Aoshi's attack, and it just like chopped it in two. So it was gonna be a crazy strong attack, but once again, Kenshin with his IQ, m- making himself giving himself more time to live, basically.
Yeah, definitely. So Kenshin goes down, and Yahiko, being the strong willed swordsman he wants to be and thinks he is, he says that he's going to take on Aoshi. He pulls out his wooden sword and everything else. And Yahiko's determination right here brings Kenshin back to the fight. He stands up and he's like, I can't let you defeat the sole heir to the Kamina, whatever it is, sword style.
Sashin, Dojin, or
Yeah,
whatever.
Kamina Kashin Dojo sword style. So I'm back, man. We're going at it. And this is where the fight gets really crazy, in my opinion. So Aoshi goes after Kenshin again with the Katen Kembo. And Kenshin actually uses an unarmed technique of the Hiten Mitsuguri Ryu sword style called Ryokusen, where he full on just grabs the blade of Aoshi's Kodachi, which is nuts. I mean, he's grabbing a sword. And this isn't a reverse blade like his Sakamoto. This is like a real sword. So he grabs onto it and he takes down Aoshi with the hilt of his own sword,
Yeah,
strikes him in the neck, and
a
we get
couple
to
of times. Yeah.
yeah, and we get to see Aoshi's final attack. He comes in with the old right hook, and after that, Aoshi passes out. And because I mean, that was his last move. That was everything he had in him.
And that Ryokusen, that did they not say that it could only work with his type of sword that he was using? Like it couldn't really work with any other sword.
I don't recall that, but
Yeah.
I mean, it would make sense because it's shorter. But he
I
was
thought
saying that
yeah.
during the Katen Kenbo, the only opening Kenshin could find, and it was barely an opening at all, was when he switched from using Kenpo to using his Kodachi to attack.
Okay.
But Aoshi gets back up. He's like passed out for only 10 seconds after taking like this beating. And he's like, why didn't you finish me off? And Kenshin tells Aoshi that he's only a Rurouni. He's no longer a manslayer. And for that reason, he won't lay the final blow. Um, and Aoshi's basically like, I'm going to keep coming after you, right, bro? Like, this ain't over. Like, I want the strongest, the title of the strongest. And Kenshin's just saying, like, bro, you can have it. I don't care about being the strongest. I only care about protecting the people I love. And it was just a fucking awesome scene, dude. This whole fight was incredible. It really picked up the animation in this show like Bass and I were hoping with the remake.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it so far. This is what the um this What episode is this? The 10th?
12.
Is it the 12th?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the 12th. Okay. Yeah, so we're like halfway through the season, I'm pretty sure, and it's been a fun ride so far for me. As everything past like the second or third episode has been brand new to me. So
Oh, definitely, man. And then we get a discussion about why Aoshi didn't take a role in the army. And Aoshi basically says that, I'm there for the Oni Waban group. These are my followers. This is basically my family. And with their traits, they just wouldn't be accepted in the army. And that his goal was to make the Oni Waban group the strongest for his team and his friends. And that's why he had to defeat Kenshin, which I liked. I mean, I like to see that resolve out of another character. Like Aoshi seemed like a bad guy, but I don't think he really was.
yeah, he just had bad motives, I guess.
Yeah,
Or whatever. But I mean he thinks he's in the right and Kenshin thinks he's in the right too, but it's one of those things like who's really in the right at times for their beliefs, you know? So but
definitely.
he's definitely like for a villain on this show, he's definitely one of the more stand up guys because anybody else villain wise wouldn't give a shit about their followers, and he literally doesn't want to um you know further himself because that would mean uh disbanding and throwing out his group to the wild basically, and he don't want that. So that's pretty cool of him to them to show uh that he's not just another evil villain. He's actually a kind of okay guy, maybe possibly.
Yeah, he cares about the people around him, and that's never a bad thing. But after that, who else shows up but Conru with his, weapon he'd like to test out? And Homie pulls up with a Gatling gun.
The ultimate rotating blicky.
And like he's shooting at them and everything else. He goes in this whole speech about his goal is to be a merchant of death. He wants to be an arms dealer. And there's this scene where he's like shooting this gun and he's just toying with them. He's not even trying to hit him. He's trying to torture them. And you just hear him yelling, gat, 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 gat. And I was like fucking crying, dude.
Yeah, this dude's definitely taking it a little too far. So yeah, but it was fun. It was funny, to see his reactions. And there's something like that always throws me off when I see him come on the screen, and it's his teeth. You know,
Connor's teeth are freaking gnarly, man. Like I hate seeing teeth in anime, like detailed like that, and they're just fucking gnarly, dude.
yeah, it's just it feels like it's overdone. It reminds me of that. We watched a trailer of it was the one where the Jujutsu Kaisen director. Remember that one? Where the teeth. Uh, I don't guess you probably remember, but the teeth was like it was the first thing I noticed. And I was like, bro, this is wild.
Yeah, dude.
So,
Just wait till you watch Doctor Stone. It's very well
well, I've
animated in
watched
that.
like 4 or 5 episodes of it or whatever. But it's the same way. But for some reason, his teeth, Conryu's, like it's just I don't know. I guess maybe his facial expression plus the glasses plus his teeth, like it just all is creepy.
Definitely, man.
So
But yeah, so Connor gets a shot in on Aoshi and he goes down. And at that point, Shikijo, Hanya, and Sano basically come up to see what the hell is going on because I mean you can hear this gun a mile away.
yeah,
And
like something's not right up there, and everybody just comes up there. Yeah.
but Conru basically decides that he was going to take out Aoshi first because he's injured and down. And Shikijo actually sacrifices himself to protect Aoshi. And that just goes to show how much the Oniwaban group really cares about their leader.
Yeah. I mean, it it's good that they care that much because he obviously cares as just as much about them. So it's awesome to see the loyalty there. Um so just a it sucks though that we didn't actually get to see like this is kind of where it ended off. So it was like a major cliffhanger again. Which anime does that. We love it. Actually, we don't, but
But yeah, I guess I'll have to find out next week. Do you want to get going on Jujutsu Kaisen?